Hello, StarCraft fans. Once again, I am here alone, but this time it's going to be a TVP. It's going to be Snow versus Ssak. I have high expectations for this series. Ssak, in either it was last season or the season before of ASL, actually beat many. So his TVP, really good. But if you're going to tell me that I have to pick a Protoss player to beat any Terran on the planet, Snow is the one I'm going to pick. This guy, absolute ridiculous PVT. This guy, he just doesn't lose. You know what he's going to do. He's going to go Goon Reaver. He's going to go Carriers. Doesn't matter that you know he's going to do that because he's just going to kill you. He's going to use the Reaver to deny your push. He's going to go Carriers in the late game, and you're going to have no answer to it. So I think that this is going to be a good series. Ssak playing well these days, but Snow, he's just such a monster in PVT that it's going to be very hard. If we get a look at the bracket here, I think, personally, this is a dream bracket for both players. Snow, excellent PVT. And look at the bottom side. All Terran players except Mini. That seems like the best bracket he could possibly get. So Snow, my favorite coming from the bottom side to go all the way to the finals. However, if Ssak does beat Snow, he also has only Terran players. And Sakk's TVT is really freaking good. If I'm going to pick a Protoss player to beat a Terran, it's going to be Snow. If I'm going to pick a Terran player to beat a Terran, it would be Ssak. That's how good his TVT is. I've seen so many players play Ssak on stream. Like, I'll come in the middle of the game, and I'm watching from their point of view, whether it's Rush or Light or whoever it is, and I'm watching them play, and I'm looking at how the opponent is playing. I'm like, wow, this guy's playing amazing. And like Rush or Light, they lose, right? And I'm like, holy smokes, who the heck is this? Every single time I've had that occur, it's been Ssak. Ssak is actually crazy good in TVT. So we're getting a look at the map picks for this series. We've got Champion. I don't even know if we've had a single game on Champion in this tournament so far. Then we've got Luna, and we've got Jungle Story. I cannot believe that we don't get either, Retro, Vermeer, Polypoid as a map pick. Even though I think those maps are the ones I just mentioned, Polypoid, Retro, and Vermeer, are good for Terran. I actually think by picking weird maps like this, it gives Ssak a little bit of a better chance, because now Snow won't be as comfortable, and now maybe Ssak can get away with something crazy like 14cc or, some type of drop play that potentially Snow's not expecting. So let's get into game one. It is going to be Champion. It is going to be Snow versus Ssak, PVT, and this is going to be exciting, man. Like I said, I don't think we've seen any games on this map so far. Okay, in the top left, our brown Terran, it is Ssak. And in the bottom right, this man, he needs no introduction. It is Snow. Now, Champion, I will admit, I have not played this at all. However, I did watch Artosis play a lot of games on this map, so I am familiar with how the terrain is set up. I am familiar with this type of play that we're seeing from Snow. This could be forward gate. This could just be a gas steal. Either way, this probe is going to be annoying. And I guess the real question you're asking at this point is, where's the proxy going to be? Because there's buildable terrain all over the place. It could be directly at the natural, which I think it is going to be, similar to how Butter was played when it was in the map pool. And there we go. There's the pylon. So with Butter having been in the recent ladder map pool and recently being an ASL map, I think Ssak should be comfortable to play versus this type of opener. We will have to see if Snow's going to double gate here or if it's just going to be a single gate. I think single gate's the most likely follow-up. But we could see double gate. We could even see Forge follow-up if that's going to be the case. And I like how Snow... Oh, is it actually going to be double gate? I think he's going to go in. Okay, now he's going to go in. He's going to come in from a normal... Oh, no, he's not. Is he really debating on whether he wants to gas steal or not? He's cutting it close here, and yeah, he doesn't gas steal, but because he comes in at this moment, it forces Terran to cut a worker, forces Terran to use their 100 minerals on the gas faster than expected, and that one additional worker is going to be a big deal facing that exceptionally fast sellout. That SV is dead, man. Oh, it's not dead. I thought he was going to die to that probe. That probe is so annoying. Good SimCity so far from Ssak. Typical barracks placement. That thing is... Oh, how did he save it? I can't believe he saved it. But look, 3 SCVs pulled off the line already. This is already a lot of damage. Pylon block. And you can also put your battery down there. The SimCity is good, though. It is right up next to the command center. Where can you put the battery where the Marine can't range it? I don't think you can really put it anywhere. So, still think Ssak is in an okay position, but this is definitely going to be annoying. Now, look at that Marine, or that probe positioning, I mean. It has to go all the way around, and it can be one-shotted by a probe. Can he range it, though? Oh, I think he could, but he doesn't get the final shot off. I am trying to see if Ssak built a factory anywhere. I don't think he has built a factory just yet. He is desperate to just try and save these SCVs. Look at the pylon messing up the mining angle of those SCVs. So he loses 2 SCVs already. This is so annoying. Pylon dies, and Snow. Okay, that was good, clean positioning of the Marine right there in between the depot, but Sakk's already in big time trouble. He's losing those 2 SCVs, with the SCV constantly popping out on the wrong side, loses 2 more SCVs. 3 Zealots are still alive. The factory is not even close to being done. Meanwhile, the cybernetics is what? I think it's either 80% done or just completely done at this point. So Goon should be popping out pretty soon. This is what you like to call a go next game, because this is done catastrophic damage. It's gonna be, maybe we'll say 7 Marines versus 3 Zealots, and a Goon once it pops out, and the factory just can't complete. Okay, that was really good. Catches one of the Zealots with the SCVs, catches another Zealot with the Marines, and actually, maybe he can hold this. He's got a lot of Marines left over. He can now pull the boys. And the Goon is still not out. Ooh, he tries to corner that Dragoon into the gate, but not going to work out. And now we've got a micro battle, Goon versus Marine. A lot of the Marines are heavily damaged. Does need to be careful, but it does seem like this is going to be held. However, Ssak took a lot of damage here. To be down 5 workers at this point in the game versus someone like Snow, who's an expert in this matchup, I don't know about this. 8 is going to die, and we do have 2 gate follow-up in Snow's main. I like this follow-up because he's dealt so much damage. He's going to put on a lot of pressure, and that might be a Robo. Okay, we have 2 gate Robo 1 base versus a Terran player who you know has had their factory stalled for a very long time. Now, with it being champion and with it being 2 gate as a follow-up, I think that this could just be for elevatoring into the main. So you can see that Snow is desperate to make sure that this SCV doesn't get in. Because if the SCV gets in and sees that this is a 1 base, I think that he could actually defend this. And unfortunately for Snow, the SCV does see its 2 gate Robo. And this really does look like to me that it's going to be elevator goons into my base. So because of that, I'd really like to see Ssak build a lot more Marines here to make sure that that doesn't happen. Nine worker advantage for Snow. This is really good for him right now. And that is a lot of Marines. Now, I don't know about this move. You know that the guy's gone 2 gate. You know that you know that 2 goons were already out on the map, and there's still a Zealot, and you know, with 2 gate production, what at best you're facing 4 goons, maybe potentially 6 goons by the time you get across the map. So I don't know about this counterplay. He did pull a couple of SCVs with it, so he does want to make this happen, but this is gonna be really hard. The 4 goons one-shot all the Marines. They 2-shot tanks, and there's still a Zealot there to buffer the damage. Once 2 more goons get out, I think that this push is completely denied. So this is, I would say, massively all in for Ssak. I think he has to win with this. I don't think he can really transition out of this. Here you go, the engagement. The Zealot instantly dies. 2 Marines instantly die, though. 3 die. 4 are gonna die. And there goes the... Oh, tank actually gets pulled back. He needs to repair it. There goes a lot of the Marines. Those, was it 8 Marines are now down to 1. Okay, there goes the tank. There goes the Vulture. And that went basically as I was expecting it to go. So unfortunately, the FD follow-up did not work out. The early game was just catastrophic damage for Ssak. And it was just unfortunate that he didn't have luck on his side with the SCV bouncing towards his command center with the factory that was building the factory. If that SCV could have bounced towards the command center instead on the outside, you know, he would have saved at least 3 or 4 SCVs. He would have had better econ. He wouldn't have had to all in there. But you got to give props to Snow there. I don't think if I was him, I would have gone 2-gate Observer as a follow-up. But he read it correctly. He knew that Ssak had to all in there to try and recover. And it was the perfect counterplay. So all of a sudden, we're just up 1-0 immediately in the series. We are going to be getting into game 2. If I remember correctly, it's Luna as our second map. And if I remember from the olden days, Luna was a good PvT map. So this is going to be pretty tough for Ssak to come back in since he's already down 1-0. So in the top right, we do have a couple Protoss. It is Snow. And then in the bottom right, we got Ssak once again. Now Luna has been remastered here with better layouts with natural. Anybody that has played Luna, just looking at the minimap can tell that the naturals have been fixed. Luna used to be really hard to defend run-bys, but now, you know, it's really compact, more laid out, sort of like Fighting Spirit. We've still got the wide open center of the map, and third bases has also been cleaned up a little bit. But everything so far has just been more modernized. I like it a lot better than the old Luna. I remember so many games where I just lose the ring run by or even Zealot run by because of how far away the ramps were from your natural. So we do have normal opener in this game from Snow, at least in terms of pylon positioning. You still could have 12 Nexus from him if he wants. In Sakk's main, Depot coming down, he's not going to do anything crazy. It's not a 10-10-10 Depot timing. And there goes that probe. So it is going to be normal gateway timing. So 12 Nexus. I guess the real thing we're just waiting to see is gas timings here. Will anybody get frisky with an 11 gas potentially for Terran? You know, will Snow maybe build 3 Zealots before going into Goon? We don't see the assimilator just yet for Snow, so maybe he will try and put on some Zealot pressure, but maybe not. There's the gas for him. Now, in comparison to Fighting Spirit, I think Luna's a little bit easier to defend your third base. You're not going up high ground to try and take it as Terran. Yes, there's still a ramp, and it's on low ground, so you're not going to have, or I guess in this scenario it's a bridge, so you're not going to have high ground once you secure it, but you still have a lot of territory to put down some cities and stuff. So the fact that you can take it easier and you can still set up a sim city, and it's still, you know, a tiny bridge coming up. I think this is a little bit better for Terran to take their third base. We do have cybernetics coming in. I don't think Snow built a Zealot this time, so it is just going to be straight Goon. And we do actually have Gasless this time for Ssak. He wants to have big econ. I think this can be hit or miss versus someone like Snow. When Snow scouts this, he's going to know that he can just power really hard. And you know that Terran's going to have a low tank count or a low factory count for the majority of the game. So that allows play like Fast Reaver to be really deadly, and versus someone who's an expert with the Reaver, I don't know if you really want to go Gasless versus Snow, but we'll see how this plays out. I do know that Ssak is really good with Wraith play, so maybe he's going Gasless, going to go one fact and go one port and blindly build Wraith as the counter. That could be a smart move versus someone that you know is 100% of the time going Reaver. Bit of an unlucky scout for Snow this time. Notice he's going to find Ssak last. So he's not going to be able to go, you know, like 21, 23 Nexus here. It is going to be something like a 25, 26 Nexus, I imagine. Take that back. I guess it is just going to still be the 23 Nexus, but either way, it's not going to be the 19 Nexus or 21 Nexus that we see these days. Goon is going to spot the bad news that, hey, this guy already expanded and his command center's basically done. So I'm sure Snow will stop all goon production here and instantly put down that Robo in just a moment. He could also take a third Nexus. We've got the transfer coming down, factory coming down. Everything looks pretty normal to me as a Terran player. And I see a building went down for Snow, and I imagine it's the Robo. We actually have an extremely fast academy from Ssak. I guess because he scouted so late, he wants to have some type of detection, doesn't want to go eBay. And the ComSat will of course counter the DT while also allowing him to scan the main. So I think this is a smart move. But this academy was so quick. It was like a 3:30 academy that this really does cut into his SCV production. So Snow's not going to be as far behind in terms of probes as I think he imagines him to be. We do have the Nexus completing in just a moment, so we've got the transfer coming down. Second gate from Snow, so it looks like it's going to be most likely 2-gate Reaver or 2-gate Ob, not going to be 3-gate Ob though. It's going to be a little bit annoying on this bunker. It's going to force 3 SCVs off the line to repair. Now, I'm looking at Ssak's main. I still see that there's one factory, no additional buildings at all, no starport, no factory. I think also by getting the ComSat, if he scans the support bay, he can instantly respond with a starport himself. So that could also be the logic here. But I do see a couple buildings going down at the bottom side of Ssak's base, maybe an armory there. These goons are still doing a lot of damage to that bunker. We've got the first tank coming out. I think Ssak is someone that likes to get siege mode, so I don't think that I don't think he's going to lose this tank. I think he was trying to just be annoying there, and now he's going to back up and go siege. Could be wrong though. Yep, there it is. There's siege. For whatever reason, when I do watch Ssak, he likes to go siege as a follow-up when he goes gasless. Now back in Snow's main, after seeing siege, Protoss knows that that's an expensive upgrade, and you know what that means. It means Nexus time, baby. Anytime you're rushing siege mode, that's basically equal to a factory. So how much can Terran actually produce when you know that they're cutting into their factory count? Well, the answer is not much. And because of that, going another Nexus is a very smart follow-up. The observer's going to come in here and see that, hey, this guy only has one factory. I imagine there must be an armory at the bottom side of his base. So low factory count, very quick upgrades. Yep, there's the armory. That means that Terran just doesn't really have any timing potential unless they're going to flood 5 fact right now and go for a +1 timing. So I wouldn't be surprised if actually Snow goes straight Stargate off of this, even just 2 gates. But if he was to make that type of move, he would need his gas, and the fact that there's no gas at the natural signals to me that we may actually not have a carrier game this time. It could just be, you know, something like 9-10 gate Arbiter. There's the support bay. You knew that was going to happen. Reaver is just always in the playbook for Snow. We do have starport coming down. It's pretty fast, by the way. It's extremely fast. So it seems like we may actually be going into a long game because Ssak is rushing his upgrades so quickly that maybe he's playing for 3-2. And with the scans going constantly off, he can, you know, figure out exactly what Snow's going for. If he scouts Stargates, he'll probably flood factories. Okay, he scouted the third Nexus and he's going to flood factories. So we've got 5 fact with a science facility. I don't think this is for +1 timing. I think this is going to still be at minimum 2-1. He may be going into the 5 fact just so he can have a lot of production, so he can secure his third base and still sit there, and still sit and go 3-2. We've got the first Reaver coming out. No turrets up at all, and I don't remember seeing a lot of Goliaths. I think I saw 1. So Reaver should have full access into the natural and into the main base. Okay, we actually do have Goliaths on the outskirts and at the natural, so really not a lot of opportunity to come in here with the Reaver unless he can spot the Goliath out of position. Now the observer saw the factories being built, so I wonder what Snow is thinking. Is he thinking that this is going to be a timing? Or is he thinking kind of what I'm thinking, that this is just a lot of factories get his third base and then it's going to be a 3-2? I do notice that it's not 5 fact anymore, it's now 6. So now that it's become 6, this does look like it's actually going to be a 2-1 timing. And 2-1's going to be really fast. I don't imagine Snow being able to get his upgrades up to 2-1 to match. So I think it's going to be +1 versus 2-1. And honestly, +1 is not that great versus 2-1. So this is definitely going to be army and upgrade advantage for Terran. Terran supply 90 to 106 is really good. I don't know about this from Snow. He's taking a 4th Nexus. You gotta imagine he's probably gonna have to build cannons up there, you know, pylon wall. That's a lot of resources that you don't want to build versus versus Terran, who's most likely doing the timing. We've got Coulter run by into the 3rd base. Kills a couple probes. What was it? Maybe 4. So pretty good damage. But what I really think Snow needs to be doing is ramping up that gateway count, because 2-1 is maybe like 2.5 minutes away or so. And then Sakk's most likely going to be on the move. And I just don't know how you're going to stop this army with just 6 gateways. Dropped. Okay, Reaver. It looks like he managed to save the tank, but he did lose a couple of ultras there. And in the main of Ssak, it is a 7 fact timing. 7 fact, big econ, 52 SCVs on 2 bases. Massive upgrades. This is going to be really tough for Snow to defend. It's going to take a lot of stalling with these Reavers to buy him time, I think, to get up the gateway count and unit count that he needs to stop this army. Another Vulture drop. This could actually have a tank in it also to try and shut down this base. But I can tell you, after having faced a lot of good Protoss players in my lifetime, it is hard to push into 2 Reavers, just in general. But with Snow piloting the shuttle and Reaver, that makes it near impossible. So he may be able to keep Sakk's back long enough where he can have enough army to stop this. But look at Terran's supply. He's up 12 supply. That tells you just how well Terran is macroing relative to Protoss. Like, this is crazy from Ssak. And I like how the drop is just drawing attention away. While he draws the attention away, he slowly creeps with the tank, and he pops a Reaver. That's great. No. Wow, he may actually not be able to stop this. The drops are fantastic. Just not able to pay attention to the Reaver anymore. It's going to be really hard for him to keep this at bay. I don't know if this vessel has energy for D-Matrix. The D-Matrix could be great to face the Reaver also. Oh, the shuttle dies! And now we've got a move coming out from Terran. The Zealots with no speed, they're basically useless at this point. The tank count is relatively high also. What is it, 9? The goon count is extremely low. Actually, it's even more tanks than that. It's 11 tanks, and this attack really didn't get delayed at all. 2-1, I think, has just now kicked in. We don't get a look at the upgrades, but based on the starport and science facility timing, 2-1 should have kicked in or is about to kick in. And with no speed, this feels like it cannot be stopped. That is a minefield that you don't want to be standing on, though. It could get ugly. But the lack of speed, how are you going to drag these mines into the tanks? You're just not, man. And there it is, GG. Wow, that was a really good timing from Ssak. He macroed like a madman, had the perfect response with the seven factories. And I don't know how much that top left base even came into play for Snow. Like, how long was he even mining it? I think building that 4th base was a big mistake there. More gates could have helped him. More tech. Definitely needed speed on his Zealots, that's for sure. And focus more on getting Templars or something. But Snow, he knows what he's doing more than I do. But that time around, he got absolutely blasted by Ssak. So Ssak 1-1 in this series. And we're going to be going into Game 3. I think the remaining map, if I remember correctly, is Jungle Story. And this is a map that has a lot of drop potential. And, you know, both players are good at drops. No, obviously good with the Reavers. But you can see last game, Ssak is no slouch on drops either. So we'll see if anybody can come up with some cute, interesting play here. So in the top right are Protoss, letting games slip away a little bit. It is Snow. And in the bottom left, really liked his build last game. It is Ssak. The one thing to point out about this map is, if you can already notice, we've got ramps on high ground, or I take it back. We've got our main on the low ground with high ground natural, and every Terran player hates playing these types of maps. However, it is then you on high ground versus low ground, assuming you can secure your natural. So I guess that is one unique part about this map. You know, other maps where you have high ground natural, it tends to be even ground afterwards. Now it is cross spawn this time around. Wonder if somebody will get lucky here. 12 Nexus or 14 CC. We've got Depot coming down for Ssak. Pylon for Snow. And did he queue up another probe? It seems like he did. And we may have 12 Nexus on the menu, boys. That is going to be really hard for Ssak to punish. But if he does punish it and does get a bunker up on the high ground, it would be really hard for Protoss to actually come back. We do have sort of a forward racks. More and more players these days are building their racks towards the ramp when they're going castless, and because of that, I do think that this is going to be a castless just simply because of how the racks is placed. And it does seem like that's going to be the move here, because there is no gas for Ssak just yet, and we do have 12 Nexus from Snow. He doesn't know it just yet, but he got the perfect spawn to go for this play. I think gasless versus 12 Nexus, you're not feeling too bad. Instead of being down like 5 workers, you're going to be down, what is it, like 2? Which is manageable. Of course, you're never liking 12 Nexus, but this is not bad as a, a counter. Depot. Okay, so a little of the intricacy there. A lot of times when you do gasless as Terran, you go racks, command center, and then depot. So this time around, Ssak going to have a slightly slower command center, but didn't want to cut any SCVs. So interesting. Marine pops out and will probably push this probe away. Probe may be able to spot the command center though. Okay, he spots the command center, so he knows no 12 gas this time. He's got Nexus first, so there's really no opportunity for Ssak to pull at all. Of course, Ssak hasn't even scouted, so that can't happen anyways, but Snow now knows that you're not going to pull with just Marines and SCs. Like, that's just not a powerful pull. I like the pylon at the natural, though, just in case, if he needs a battery. But Snow, he already knows that he's gotten away with murder. He's going to continue to get away with murder. There's no second gate, there's no zealot, there's no goon. He went straight cybernetics off of this. And again, I think that's Academy. Yeah, again, another 320 Academy for Ssak. Unbeknownst to him this time, he would have really liked to go eBay this time because it's 12 Nexus. You don't want to be down workers versus 12 Nexus. But it will give him intel onto what Snow's doing. And look at this. It's going to be just straight Robo. It was Zealot, no Goon, no range, Robo off of a 12 Nexus. It doesn't get any greedier than this. Well, actually, I take that back. Actually, there was a game a long time ago that I watched. It was Brittany versus Flash on... Was it Tripod? I feel like it was Tripod. But anyways, Brittany went 12 Nexus. Flash went 14 Command Center. Brittany scouted it was a 14 Command Center. So he went 12 Nexus, didn't build a gate, and then built a third Nexus afterwards. I think that's the greediest build I've ever seen. I remember watching the VOD where Flash pulled Marines and SCVs to try and kill the third Nexus, and he still couldn't kill the third Nexus, not even, let alone the initial Nexus. It was the greediest opener I've ever seen. And if I remember correctly, after that, Brittany gave vision to Flash because that's how far ahead he was. That was a crazy game. So this does look like it's the same build from Ssak, the Fast Academy, one fact, straight armory, really fast armory, by the way. And maybe Snow will have learned his lesson here that, hey, I can't, triple, quadruple expand off of this. I actually need to have some units. So he's gone 3 gate as a follow-up. Nope, he didn't learn his lesson, man. He goes straight Stargate. He's like, you know what? The reason I lost last game is because I didn't have my Stargate. So he's just going to rush them. And this is the correct read. Factory count is extremely low. There's no way Ssak can do anything about this unless he gets lucky with his scan. If he gets lucky with his scan and spots the Stargates right now, I could see him cutting all of his SCVs and going 5-fact. But unless that happens, this feels like a really good build order for Snow. First Observer coming out in in Ssak's base. I like his positioning of the depot at the top side of the map, giving him a little vision there in case a drop is incoming. I don't think there's a support bay this time though. I think it is literally just Observer straight fleet beacon in the carriers. And they're somewhat hidden. I think it's unlikely that this gets scouted. Interesting pylon position there. I'm not sure exactly what that's intended to do, but does give him a little bit more vision of an incoming push. Scan went off now. I'm very curious where this scan actually was. Doesn't seem like we're going to get intel on where it was. I'm not sure if we saw it or not, but I'm going to assume that he missed it because I don't see factories being flooded. Another scan goes off, and he sees the main. And look at what Snow's done. Is he's not upgrading his +1 weapon on the air to give it away just yet that he's gone for carriers. So smart, intelligent move there. Doesn't want to give away that it's 2-base carrier just yet. I like his hidden base at bottom right. It is far away though, so drops could punish this real quickly if it gets scouted. That's something to consider. But I have a feeling it's not going to get scouted for a long time. Well, with the starport done and the science facility coming down, we are pretty much having the exact same build. It's most likely going to be 7-fact again, 2-1. I think it's even faster this time. And 2-1 is really good versus carriers. You know, when Flash was inventing the anti-carrier build, 2-1 was really the thing that made it so strong. So this still could be a good build, despite Snow's carriers not being scouted, and despite what I assume Snow most likely to get up to at least 6 carriers. But it's going to be hard because Snow is so good with carriers. His stuff just doesn't die. We have a big probe transfer down to bottom right, so that base is going to get up and running. Yep, this is 5-fact. Most likely, yep, he's going to put down a 6-fact there, so it's literally identical to last game. He scans that there's nothing mid-right, and with there being nothing mid-right, he knows that this is either 2-base carrier, which it is, or this guy's hidden a base. And with it being Snow, I think the likelihood that it's 2-base carrier is pretty high, but also pretty high that he's also taken another base, and in this game, he's actually done both. Still relatively high for Terran though, 82 to 99. You're feeling pretty good about that if you're Terran. The vultures are going to be denied by these goons, but now he knows that hey, there's a base over here. He's going to lose. Oh, he loses one goon and has to retreat with the other. Okay. I think that's pretty much maximum damage right there. Gets 2 probes for his 2 vultures. Still 90 supply versus 97. The first 2 carriers are out. Third and fourth carrier should be coming pretty soon. Okay, now he's scanned it and he knows that carriers are on the way, but he missed the first 2, so he may not suspect that 2 are already out. I actually still like Ssak's position here. If he just goes pure Goliath after this, that's going to put him at around 8 to 9 Goliaths, plus his tanks that are already built, plus his vultures. I don't know if Snow can actually stop this army. He can stop this, because there's only 2 Goliaths, but like I said, if there's a cycle of units, I actually think Ssak can push this back. But the carriers intercept the tanks, and Ssak was not expecting these 2 carriers to already be completed. He loses a tank, he lost both of his Goliaths for free, he loses 2 tanks actually. That's devastating amounts of damage. Unfortunately for Ssak, he actually did a vulture cycle. So his Goliath count is extremely low. He loses another Goliath. He's going to lose another tank, maybe? That Goliath's 100% dead. Carriers don't care about a bunker, so they're just tanking it. Wow, this is annoying. Is he really just going to lose the 2 carriers? There's 2 more carriers coming across the map right now. You can see them get intercepted by the vultures in the center of the map. So it's going to be 4 carriers versus basically no Goliaths because they're dying as soon as they pop out. These two carriers have killed so much stuff. Ssak is trying to sneak a command center at top left, but it's already been spotted by something up there. But yeah, by a probe. So Preuss can go deny that. These two carriers are still... Okay, I was going to say they're still healthy, but they're not. One of them... Oh my gosh, what is that? 5 health? 3 health? Ends up surviving? That is heartbreaking for Ssak. He needs to kill that carrier, that one in the back, and he's not... Okay, he got it. But it's still 3 carriers left over. But now the Goliath count is decent. But he's still bleeding Goliaths. Wow, this map with the ramp is annoying. Oh, a D-Matrix coming in. But that's not going to do very much. So yeah, the Goliath just got blown up. Now we've got a 40 supply lead for Snow. There is an attack at bottom right. I think those are vultures. Yeah, he kills the cannon and the goons, and he's going to kill all the probes here. But Sakk's losing his main. Apparently, you don't even need critical mass carriers. You just need 3 or 4 of them if you're Snow. Carriers being built. The command center at top left has been canceled. Bottom right is basically not mining for Snow. He did lose a lot of probes there. You can see his probe count is at 41. But he's killed so many Goliaths and he's killed so many tanks that what can Terran really counter with? Like, he can't counter with pure Goliaths. Goons will just kill everything. And he's got so many carriers here, he can just instantly kill the tanks like that. He does lose one of his carriers, but as long as he can kill the tank, the goons should kill everything else. Well, that tank is actually dealing a lot of damage. I don't think it matters though. Look how many goons there are. So many goons, and he doesn't even kill the carrier. And that's it. Ssak taps out. What a great build from Snow, hiding the carriers, going for the 12 Nexus, and of course, he powered like a madman in the early game. I think Ssak actually had a good response. 7 Fact 2-1 is really good versus carriers. He just was not expecting those 2 carriers to have already been out. If that Vulture cycle were Goliaths, I think he definitely had a shot in that game. So congrats to Snow, he does move on. Unfortunate for Ssak that he gets knocked out here because I think this was another good bracket for him if he makes it through. He's got a lot of Terrans to potentially face off versus, and that's by far his best matchup. So this does lead us into Royal versus Snow, if I'm remembering how this bracket is unfolded. So Royal versus Snow, this is gonna be an epic one. You got to remember, Royal versus Snow happened in ASL. They had a great game on Tempest. Really good game on Tempest. Royal played out of his mind there. His multitask was nuts, but Snow was no slouch either. He had really good multitask himself, took a lot of aces. I liked his harassment with his shuttles. So I really do think that this series coming up is really going to deliver. I think Royal is looking to prove, hey, that was no fluke that I won on Tempest in ASL. I can do it again, but also at the same time, I'm sure Snow's feeling the pressure there to get his revenge, and I think he could potentially do so because his PVT is just so top notch. But that is it today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and of course thank you for the continued support of StarCast TV, and I look forward to seeing you in future casts.